Hello, everyone. On February 9th and 9th, so those 2 days, we will have an exact Mars-Uranus trine, an Earth trine. And Mars-Uranus aspects are about free will, how you can exercise your free will. This is an interesting topic because there are some philosophies, for instance, in Buddhism and also some other Eastern philosophies that state that you don't really own a free will. There's no such thing as free will. There's always some sort of predetermination. Your life is predetermined. Some of the Christian values also state that. For instance, Protestants have very strict rules about how everything is preordained and predetermined, and it doesn't really matter what you do. If God decides that you can be resurrected, then you will, otherwise you go to hell, something like that. And at the same time, you might realize almost every day that yes, you are making choices. So an easier way to understand free will is the potential to make free choices. And if you are a free person, if you are not a servant or a slave, if you are a grown-up, if you are within your own faculties and abilities, then you are able to make free choices. For instance, what you're going to eat, in what time you're going to get up, how long you're going to stay up at night. Those are also always free choices, really. So you can make them freely, and you have to live with the consequences. The trick when occupying free will is absolutely this portion, which unfortunately today's young people don't really understand. Yeah, you can have unlimited free will, but then you have unlimited responsibility, because all your choices, life choices, are up to you, but then you have to live with the consequences. And this is something that people only understand one portion of the equation and not the other. Anyhow, so on the 8th and 9th of February, we are going to have an exact Mars-Uranus trine. And I'm going to show you the thing that I prepared. This is the trine itself, and Mars is on Nike, the goddess of the euphoria of victory. So it's quite interesting. There are other celestial objects as well, but this, I think, is quite revealing. And this is an the Earth trine. It's actually the most potent of the trines, because you can download it to the Earth plane, the impact of this type of free will. As I said, all Mars-Uranus aspects are describing your ability to exercise your free will. If it's a square, it may suggest that you are trying to push your will, even when the circumstances don't or wouldn't allow it. And that is why, for instance, Mars-Uranus squares often denote accidents. So it's important to look at the nature of the aspect and understand how it may work. A trine is, of course, always best, and so is, of course, the conjunction, because it simply describes the energy in a harmonious way. But it's not just Mars-Uranus aspects that are describing how much or how limited your free will is. I'm not going to talk about the lack of free will in this video, because when I see such a placement, we will enumerate the placements that are accompanying the topic of I don't have any or very limited free will. Here we do have a free will, and so I'm only going to talk about the anti-vertex, which is opposite the vertex, and I'm also going to talk about the great attractor in a bit, and then we are going to look at the other celestial objects that are accompanying the trine itself. So let's look at this. What is the anti-vertex? Most of the good computer programs list it, so you can actually look it up. Be careful, because the vertex is where you don't have free will, and the anti-vertex is where you have unlimited free will. It falls always in either the 11th, 12th, first and second houses. And that is the sphere of life where you have unlimited free will. Usually you can utilize the excess of free will, let's put it this way. In the 11th house, it's about group associations and friends and group work and group situations. In the 12th, you can understand and utilize whatever is hidden from you in your karmic piggy bank, in your karmic bank safe. This is so you have free will as to how you're going to utilize those things that are hidden. In the first, you have unlimited free will in your life path. Be careful, because that means that the vertex, which is the point of no free will fall into your 7th. So you may have an unlimited free will in your own life, but that means that you don't have free will in your relationships. It's either or. You can always see the hindrance as well. And in the 2nd house, it's how you utilize your resources and your talents. That's what the anti-vertex in the 2nd house means. And then there's the great attractor, which is one of the key celestial areas in karmic astrology. It is the center of Laniakea, and Laniakea is a huge, supermassive galactic conglomerate, let's put it this way, which our galaxy, the Milky Way, is part of. So if you Google Laniakea, you will see that usually they describe the Milky Way with a tiny red dot, that this is what we are. And this whole huge, beautiful, it looks like a flower, really. Excuse me. That is what we are talking about as the area. But the great attractor is its middle, its center, and it is not a black hole. Usually galactic centers are supermassive black holes. For instance, the center of the Milky Way is a black hole that has a diameter of 4 light years. It's enormous, really. And in this case, we don't have a black hole. We don't know what it is. Astronomers call it a galactic anomaly because they don't know what it is. It does swallow material in, but it doesn't have an event horizon. Most black holes do. And it also allows some energy and some matter to come out of it. So in the other side, something comes out. We don't exactly see what it is because we can't actually look into it, because it's at a portion of the universe where from the Earth, you don't really see what's happening. But actually now it is at 14 degrees, 15 Sagittarius. And these black holes and also these galactic points have a larger orb than usual. Usually with fixed stars, I allow 1 degree orb. Here I allow a 2 degree orb. So if in your natal chart, you have anything between Sagittarius 12 and 16, you have this point activated. And all these key celestial areas, actually there's 3 of them, denote karmic dilemmas. And with the great attractor, the dilemma is fate and free will. What is fated and where do you have free will? So it's going to be always in your life, the dilemma, how you're going to use it, how you can use your free will, and what are the spheres, energies, potentials that are actually close to you, where you don't have free will. So those are the points. I just wanted to mention it before we move forward. And here are other celestial objects exactly at the same degree, 9 to 12 degrees. As you can see, there's a base. The trine itself is a base. Venus is already past the exact degree, but it's still there, of course. It's still a trine. And you have Astrea, Jupiter, Chiron involved in it. You have a little angel wing. That's the tiniest of the planetary pictures, made by 1 sextile and 2 semi-sextiles. That's the angel wing. And you have a Uranus-Jupiter sextile, which is brilliant. It adds to the planetary picture in a very important sense that provides you with lucky breaks, with situations that are sudden and lucky, or which require sudden situations which require luck. And as it is a sextile, you are actually able to work with it. And then you have Chiron involved as well. And Chiron is exactly squaring the Mars-Venus conjunction. It's still very tight with Mars, but it's separating with Venus. And Mars rules this Chiron. It's a cardinal square, so you can actually do something about your karmic wounds. The energy pattern is filled with this potential, and of course with the tension. And you also have there's actually a harmony triangle involving the Mars, Venus, Trine, Uranus, and at the apex there's Jupiter. And there's another square involving Uranus and Astrea, which I'm going to show you in the next slide. Not really a slide, it's just a picture of whatever I put together. And here you also have the accompanying celestial objects as well. Now here we have, and I put in Hygeia, which is the 10th asteroid. It's not a very important asteroid, but as we are in the middle of this pandemic, this is it becomes an important celestial object, because it is how to create a sacred space, how to create order and health and content around you and harmony around you. That's Hygeia. And Hygeia is the 10th asteroid, actually. Astrea is the 5th. And there's an Astrea, Hygeia, Uranus fixed T-square in here. And actually, Astrea has Nagasaki, and that's the apex of the T-square. So there's a very loaded, very fated space-time moment where the free will aspect, Mars-Uranus, is really struggling within this T-square, but we need to somehow create a sacred space by breaking old embedded karma and changing whatever we can. So that's the key. And the accompanying celestial objects, so Mars has Hebe, which is the goddess of eternal youth, Nike, which is the goddess of the euphoria of victory. So that's I think brilliant. On Jupiter, you still have 3 asteroids: Tisiphone, who is the punisher of hubris; Artemis, who is Apollo's sister, the moon goddess and the protector of animals and forests; and Hel, the lady of the underworld in Norse mythology. And Astrea, of course, has Nagasaki, which is complete annihilation. So you can actually utilize it in 2 ways. Annihilate whatever is an obstacle to you, and actually turning tabula rasa into something else. And then with Venus, we have 2 asteroids and also 2 fixed stars, Nunki, which is Sigma Sagittarius, and Acella, which is Zeta Sagittarius. Both are very bright stars, 2.1 and 2.7 magnitude. They are here. Acella is the star which connects the animal portion and the guru portion of the celestial centaur, the Sagittarius. So it's the balance, it's where the balance is between the profane and the guru. And then the Nunki is where the arrow gets its base, let's put it this way, where the celestial Sagittarius is holding this tight before aiming, but actually while aiming. So before shooting the arrow, this is where you stabilize your aim. So that's what Nunki represents. And with the other 2 celestial objects, these are asteroids, Pan and Buddha. Buddha, of course, describes enlightenment. So it's like, or illumination, transcendental illumination. It brings you all of a sudden insight, brilliant insight either through meditation or through dreams or through something, somehow tapping into the higher celestial energies. And Pan means two things. Pan is the chaser of the nymphs in Greek woods, and it is a little animal. It's also a hybrid, but it has like goat feet, and so it's like a goat-like masculine thing that is chasing females, of course, and everyone is really scared of him. And so when he starts crying or shouting, everyone is getting this horrible fright, panic. The word panic comes from Pan. And the other meaning is when you have this word pantokrator, which means the creation of everything, the wholeness creator. And the two actually are linked. Although when you look at it, you think that those are two very diverse concepts, but it's really not. When you are panicking, there are two ways of reacting to a panic. Either you freeze, okay, you just totally freeze. But in reality, if you consider what's happening in the woods when Pan starts screaming, all the animals are starting to run away from him. So there's this agitated movement, this getting away from something that is scaring me. Actually, panic attacks are very similar. Your heartbeat goes up, and you have an accelerated breathtaking and whatever. So it's like your whole physical body is springing into action when you have a panic attack. It's horrible, by the way. I used to have. When my mother was dying, my mother and my partner were dying together. I mean, for 1 year. They were actually, it took a long time. And I woke up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up with a panic attack. And even later on, what I have to do, what I need to, whether my mom is still alive. We lived in the same house. I live in the loft and she lived downstairs. And every morning, every dawn, I dash down. Every time I woke up, I dash down to see if she's still alive, if she hasn't fallen out of bed. Many times she did. Anyhow, so I'm not going to, I'm going to spare you with the details, but it was a very difficult period. And I had panic attacks, and panic attacks actually help you raise your energy. And with it, you can achieve almost everything, whatever you want. So that's the idea. If Pan is there, you can achieve everything. And this is the message of this Mars-Uranus trine, where Venus and these celestial objects are also involved in the space-time moment. The space-time moment requires you to spring into action and not to give in, not to allow other forces to scare you, but use this scare energy, the panic energy, to create your own world, to create your new world, which is not the new world order that the powers that be want us to live in, because no one wants 2-year-olds to wear masks. I mean, how crazy is this? How crazy is that whole thing, okay? Think about it and create your own world. You will have the energy to do it. With Mars-Uranus trine, Earth trine, you can take it down to the Earth plane, especially when you have placements in your chart around 12 degrees, 10 to 13 degrees. You can do it. So do it. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.